Most small businesses don't fail because the owner isn't smart enough or motivated enough or grinding hard enough. They fail because everything becomes urgent, nothing is prioritized correctly, and eventually the owner is reacting instead of controlling the situation. And the funniest part is, most business advice makes this worse. You're told to move fast, wear all the hats, stay flexible, and pivot constantly, which sounds heroic right up until your operation looks like an uncontrolled airspace with everyone talking at once and no one's actually flying the plane. Before I ran businesses with my wife, before I worked in marketing, before any of this, I spent 12 years as an FAA Air Traffic Controller in an environment where mistakes aren't just expensive, they're fatal. And the thing that keeps planes from colliding isn't hustle or passion. It's standard operating procedures. It's the boring stuff. Today, I'm going to give you 7 lessons from the tower, not motivation, not mindset fluff, actual operational rules that will hopefully save your business from chaos and burnout and self-inflicted emergencies. Lesson number 1, if everything is urgent, you're already in trouble. In the tower, we don't treat every aircraft the same. A medevac helicopter, for example, does not wait behind a student pilot doing touch and goes. Why? Because obviously priority matters. In business, owners love to say everything's important, which is just another way of saying they've lost control of their priorities. If everything was urgent, then nothing is truly being managed. You're just reacting to whoever's yelling the loudest, emailing the most, or stressing you out that particular day. A real operation has defined priorities, and those priorities don't change every hour based on your mood. If your calendar doesn't reflect clear priority rules, your stress isn't a workload problem, it's a leadership problem. Lesson number 2, standardization beats talent every single time. Air traffic control does not rely on personality, creativity, or improvisation. We rely on standard phraseology, standard spacing, standard procedures. You can take any controller from any part of the country and put them in another facility and it all runs the same. The only thing that's different are just local things as far as what's around that area. The words we use, the spacing, the separation, the rules, it's the same across the board. Why? Because consistency scales and talent doesn't. In business, people love to believe that they're the exception, that they don't need systems because they're sharp, adaptable, and experienced. That works right up until you get busy, tired, or distracted. If your business only works when you are personally paying attention to every single little thing, you don't own a business, you own a stress machine. SOPs are not bureaucracy. They're how you make sure things don't fall apart the second you step away. Lesson number 3, task switching is how you lose the picture. Controllers don't multitask, we sequence. One problem at a time, in the correct order, with full attention to each thing. Every time you switch tasks, you lose context, precision, and situational awareness, even if you feel productive while you're doing it. In business, constant switching feels responsible, answering emails while you're on calls, working while reacting to notifications, juggling 10 things at once. But what you're really doing is slowly degrading your ability to think clearly. In the tower, losing the picture is how accidents happen. In business, it's how owners burn out, miss obvious problems, and make dumb decisions they later swear came out of nowhere. Lesson number 4. Work from the runway out. When a controller gets overwhelmed, we use a simple reset rule. Work from the runway out. If the runway isn't clear, nothing else matters. Not the arrivals, not the departures, not what's coming in 20 minutes, not the weather. In business, your runway is the thing that actually keeps the operation alive. Cash flow, delivery, payroll, client fulfillment. But owners obsess over the horizon instead, social media metrics, future ideas, side projects, hypotheticals. You're staring 20 miles out while your runway is blocked. Clear the runway first. Everything else is noise until that's handled. And I get it. Look, my wife and I run a roofing company. That's her baby. We love to sit and brainstorm and talk about ideas and marketing and fun things. But if we're not handling the current clients in front of us, nothing else matters. Lesson number 5. Communication failures cause most emergencies. In aviation, most incidents aren't mechanical failures. They're communication failures. Unclear instructions or assumptions, missed confirmations. Business is no different. If you're constantly dealing with fires, chances are someone didn't know what success looked like, what the deadline actually was, or who owned the decision. And if your team is messing things up, the hard truth is this: unclear systems create predictable mistakes. Clarity feels boring, but boring is safe, scalable, and profitable. If there are constant mistakes, that starts at the top, not the bottom. Lesson number 6. You don't need more information. You need decision rules. Controllers don't wait until they have perfect information. We operate with defined decision thresholds. If X happens, do Y. No debate, no second guessing, no emotional spiral. In business, owners stall because they're waiting for certainty that is never coming. Decision rules eliminate that. When do you say no to a client? When do you raise your prices? When do you fire someone? If you haven't decided those rules in advance, you'll make emotional decisions in the moment, and those are almost always the worst. It never works. So, have those processes, cover those situations ahead of time as part of your SOPs, as part of your contracts with employees or clients. Dial in everything so that the expectations are clear for everyone involved. Be proactive. Lesson number 7. Close the session or it will follow you home. After a heavy shift in the tower, you don't just walk out and pretend it didn't happen. You have to data dump. You clear the frequency in your head. Because carrying operational stress into the rest of your life contaminates everything. And every controller's been there. In business, if you're still replaying work problems late at night, your system is incomplete. There has to be a deliberate end to the day, not because you're lazy, but because clarity requires recovery. Burned out leaders don't make good decisions. They just make louder ones. The tower isn't calm because controllers are relaxed. It's calm because chaos is managed with structure. Your business doesn't need more hustle, more motivation, or more information. It needs better operating rules. I'm Andy, and this is Forward Focus. If you want to run your life and your business like a controlled airspace instead of a free-for-all, stick around. Clear your runway first, and I'll see you in the next one.